Hey, my golden hearts. Hope y'all feeling blessed today. So, I got something I want to share with you guys today. Um, I don't know. I've been thinking about some stuff. Yesterday, I had a very intense emotional experience that I feel like sharing with you guys can, like, maybe, possibly help somebody out there and shit. So I went to the gym yesterday, right? And if you guys don't know, like, the the body keeps score. Like, the body keeps score. The body holds memories, things that the mind tries to forget, or just with time passing and shit. uh it's just, your body remembers. Your body remembers it happens when you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No matter how old, 20, 30, 40, doesn't matter. Your body literally holds the entire weight of who you are as a person. And I was working out yesterday and I was feeling good. I was doing breath work. I wasn't going crazy. I was just, starting to move my body more, just adding tension, lifting weights and shit like that. And it felt good. I felt like the endorphins was releasing. I felt like I just meditated. Like, I was feeling really relaxed, really chill. After I left the gym, I felt more alive, more open, but very calm, very sedated. I took a walk through the park that's near my house, this park. And then I sat with myself. I talked to myself about the experience, and it was great. I came home, I took a shower, I lathered up, baby soft and whatnot. I journaled about the experience, just to keep record of everything, about my progress and my journey. And out of nowhere, I just started crying. Like, I was just in the bed and I just started crying, bro. Like just full on. And it was like I was holding my face, like I'm holding my face. Like, touch is very important, like hugging myself, giving myself comfort, self-soothing. And then it's like all these memories started to like trickle in, and I'm like, my body was remembering, like, the tension from the workout was reminding my body of the tension I felt when I was a kid, and when I used to get in trouble. When I used to get like I was abused as a kid, emotionally, verbally, and physically. And that I was that kid that, I had to process a lot of things internally. I had to self-soothe as a child. I couldn't cry out loud. I just had to be contained. And your body remembers that. Your body holds that in. And it's like, I wanted to share this with you guys because it's like, I know other people out there, other kids, other adults, have gone through similar experiences where your body learned to brace like that. Your body learned to shield yourself from being hit. Your body learned the fear response of holding tension. And it was like I was getting a floodgate of memories where I can remember having to stand in the corner. I can remember, being told, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. I remember being told, like, and even like when you're realizing you're just a child at the end of the day, bro. And it's like, I used to get on. I don't know if YouTube gonna flag me if I say it out loud, but it's like, I used to get as a kid, and it's like, I was very small as a child. And it was like, as a woman, especially, like, we hold a lot of tension and we hold a lot of trauma in our womb system and our pelvis system, because when we're bracing, like I still have like hip issues from always having to like hold myself to protect myself. Parents always be like, oh, move your hands, and it's like, why do you want to hit me? Like, oh, it's not okay. And it's like, that's that slave mentality shit, like being like, and calling it discipline. It's not discipline. It's literally invoking fear. It's invoking, abuse at the end of the day, because it's like, you wouldn't hit a grown adult because they're not listening to you. That you go to jail for that. And it's like, often black parents in the black community only know how to discipline children through abuse because that's what they were taught. And it's like, me and my father, we have a better relationship, developing a better relationship than I did when I was a kid. But my body still remembers that. My body still holds that because my body is the one that got me through those situations and through those things. And it was just a very emotional experience. And I think, and it was interesting because I was going through the house and I'm realizing, I'm like, wait, I'm no longer that kid anymore. I'm no longer the kid that doesn't have control over themselves or their environment or the things that they can and can't do. And it's like, I'm walking through the house, I can eat when I want, I can, go upstairs. And there was a time where if I got in trouble, that was it. No, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't be, like, I was afraid to be seen, even just existing after getting in trouble. And it's like, I would get in trouble for dumb shit. And it's like, my dad has admitted these things. Like, I have a parent who's willing to sit and work through these things with me, because I'm like, no, this was real, this was my experience. And I'm like, I would get told to stay in the corner if I got in trouble, and then I would just be left there. Niggas would fall asleep, and then that would be that. Nobody would be there. And it was interesting because I'm walking through the house and my mom's asleep on the couch, and I went to the bathroom and my dad's falling asleep to whatever he's watching on YouTube. And I'm just like, it was a very distinct memory as a child, being like, no, my dad would fall asleep in his room doing whatever he's doing. My grandma would be asleep on the couch, and then I would just be standing in the corner. And then my dad's phrasing was always like, don't move, don't do nothing. So my body is literally learning how to brace. It's learning how to hold tension, because I'm like, I'm so scared that if I do move, I'm just going to keep getting in trouble. And it's like, I tell my story because I know there are other people out there. I know there are thousands, millions of people who know exactly what I'm talking about. That fear of training yourself to be invisible, training yourself to lower who you are out of fear of reaction from emotionally unavailable adults who can't connect the fact that you're just a child doing kid shit. You're learning the environment, you're learning your world, you're learning all these things, and it's like the body keeps score. And I'm like, I'm realizing with exercising, I'm allowing myself to retrain my body what tension means for myself. And it released. I needed that cry. Like, when I tell you I cried for like a good 2 to 3 hours, bro. And it felt good to my inner child, because I'm like, I know how to self-soothe. I've been self-soothing myself since I was a child. I used to be like, it gets better. Like, I used to literally cradle myself crying and be like, it gets better. I won't be here. It'll get better. And it's like, I'm looking in my bathroom and I'm looking around and I'm like, it did get better. I'm no longer in the same mental space, the same environment. My parents are more chill. They're more, healing their own shit. But that took years. I was praying those prayers as a child, and those are silent prayers. Like, when they be like, talk to God, I'm like, I didn't know who I was talking to. I was talking to myself, for real. I said, because I'm like, if people wanted to know why my stance on religion is the way that it is because when I was a child, I used to pray. Like, when I was taught to believe in Jesus and all those things, but when I called upon, nothing changed. But when I called on my own strength, when I said I will get through this, I got myself, I believed it, because the next day I would have to carry myself differently. I would have to go to school, act like ain't shit happening. And it's like, I want if teachers watch this, if adults watch this, I need y'all to really be careful with how y'all treat kids, because kids become adults and the cycle continues. I used to go to school and put a smile on my face, be the honor roll student. Meanwhile, my heart is breaking inside because I'm being harmed at home. And it's like, I couldn't act out in school because then it would just bring more harm. My parent taught me through fear-based discipline. And again, it's not even discipline, it's just abuse. And it's like, it's not hard for me to talk about these things, because I'm like, I've done the work to heal myself. I've done the work to be like, I gotta continue to heal myself. And I'm like, this is my next step in healing, being able to share my story, being able to talk about these things and let others know that it's okay. Like, I've been reclaiming my inner child. Like, y'all see my fidget spinner, bro? I have to do things that are childlike to keep myself from slipping into depression, from slipping into that feeling of trappedness, And it's not always easy. And it's like, even like right now, I'm feeling the emotions right now, because it's like, I'm talking about it. Like, that throat chakra is clearing. Like, I'm able to be like, no, this is my story, and I deserve to share it with others. I deserve to share and let other people know, like, you're not alone. You're not alone, man. And it helps to want to work and heal and talk to other people and be like, this is also a part of my own therapy. Just talking to myself at the end of the day. Just being like, I'm getting it out in the open. I'm sharing it. And it was like I needed that release. And it's like sometimes you never know when you're going to cry. You never know when something's going to open up something inside of you. And it's like that workout session, feeling good in my body. Like I've been working towards this version of myself for years, since high school, being like, I want to be healthier. I want to be stronger mentally. I want to be stronger emotionally, but not at the detriment of pretending that I don't have emotions, because that's what I did for a time, pretending that I don't feel anything, numbing, surviving through every instance of that. And it's interesting because this particular time is, for some reason in my past, I used to get in trouble a lot. Like this would be the time of year where something like right before school ended or right before summer started, and it was like my punishments used to be severe. Like and it was just like I really never had too many options to be a kid, bro. I was handling responsibilities that weren't mine. I was, being the emotional caretaker of my environment. And it's like, those are things that I shouldn't have to do. And it's like having a parent to be like, yeah, no, I get that. His is my dad's own evolving consciousness. And it doesn't take the hurt away. It doesn't take the pain away. Because sometimes I still get angry. Sometimes I look at him and be like, bro, I want to deck you, bro. Because why? I was just a child. And I was a sensitive kid at that. So imagine being a sensitive, empathic, indigo child, rainbow child, whatever part of them I am. I'm like, and feeling all of that and carrying all of that and being called dramatic, being called extra, being called overly sensitive, when it's literally like, no, maybe you're not sensitive enough. Maybe you're not sensitive and tapped into your own emotions and empathy to understand that I'm hurting by your actions and behaviors and treatment towards myself. And then as a kid, you start to believe that it's your fault. You start to believe that it's you, that it's your problems, and you start to catastrophize everything and being like, let me minimize how much I move through the world. Let me minimize how much I say things or interact, or being afraid to talk, or being afraid to just even ask for shit. You start to lose what you even want to do, who you are, what you want to be, because you're so focused on the emotional temperature of others. And it's like, I had to sit with that. Like, I had to really sit and be like, no, that was real for me. This is my real reality. These are my real memories. Because I'm like, even because I am an intellectual, so I overanalyze and be like, try to remove myself from the experience in itself and view it through a lens where I'm like, I'm observing it instead of feeling it. And I think coming back into my body and looking at myself sometimes and like rubbing myself and, just touching base with myself as being like, I'm an adult now, things aren't the same anymore. Parents get older, some realize their faults, some don't. And I give love to those who do and don't have those experiences with their parents where they can connect and be like, hey, this hurt me. Because even sometimes my dad will admit his own defense mechanisms will kick in and be like, it wasn't that bad. And I'm like, no, nigga, it was that bad. It was that bad because my body feels it. I'm like, I have to sit in the sun to heal. I have to let the earth heal me. I have to play in the grass. I have to have fidget spinners to not let the anxiety take over, to not let the memories take over, because they're difficult. And it's like, if my words or my voice can give other people like that way of feeling like you don't have to stay in your trauma. There are other ways. I meditate, I journal, I surround myself with better individuals who don't enable my shadow side, who don't enable my negative behaviors, and being around people who give that love and nourishment and that care and that support, and being like, you're loved, you're cared for, you deserve better, because like experience like that will make you feel like, especially when you're high functioning and you're an overachiever, you gotta perform. Teachers aren't even taking privy that you're a human being and just wanting you to be a star student. I used to have teachers say really crazy shit to me as a kid because I was an honor roll student. I couldn't show grief, I couldn't show sadness, I couldn't show pain, because I'm meant to be, if people associate good grades with being like emotionally well-rounded. And then when I was a teenager, I was a crash out. Like, when I was a teenager, I was tweak out in school. Because all that anger is just bubbling up now. Now it's uncontrolled, and it's coming out through projections. It's coming out through my relationships with people. It's coming out through friendships that I think are friendships but are not friendships. Being bullied. Like, it's all these things that are compounding to make a person aggressive, to make a person angry. And it's like, I got to college and I was like, I don't want to be that no more, man. And it was like, even when I still was going through it in college, I'm like, I made it a point that I'm like, I want to climb out of it. I want to be able to exist in my environment, my nature, and be okay with myself, be okay with living, and not feeling like, I used to like crying myself to sleep every night, praying and begging for better days, bro. Prayer, the power of prayer is important. It might not come when you want, but damn sure it's gonna come if you keep that in your heart, man. My insomnia, my sleep, and it's like, I still struggle with these things. And it's always a work in progress. It's never not something to work on. Like, healing is ongoing, and I'm like, I'm in the next part of my journey where I'm able to be like, let me share this, let me help others, let other people know it's possible to rise above your trauma, to rise above your depression, your anxiety, and to work with it. Because you realize that at the end of the day, your parents are human beings as well, who have their own set of traumas, their own set of intergenerational trauma, especially in the Black community, is real. Because you'll see, if you can see the cycle, if you can see the breakdown, you realize that your parent never had a chance because of the way your grandparents treated your parents, and the way your great-grandparents treated your grandparents, you feel me? So it's like that whole, it takes one generation to set a 7-generation cycle. And it's like, when no one's stopping it, when no one's interrupting the pattern, all it is going to continue. I'm the first graduate in my family, bro. I have a college degree. I graduated summa cum laude. And it wasn't the degree in itself that made me feel accomplished. It was the fact that I'm becoming the first to do a lot of things in my family, and that comes with a lot of weight and a lot of pressure. But I want better for myself. You know, when I realize where I'm at, even when I have my own habits, my own vices, things that I go through, I realize I'm like, I ain't gonna crack. I ain't on drugs. You know, I do a little, but that's about it. You know, I'm not out here doing the most. Like, I ain't in jail. I've never been arrested. I don't have, I'm doing things that my ancestors quite literally sent me for. To be the voice, to be the change, to be the one that be like, no, especially when I hear the way that I came into this world, I be like, happenstance. You don't know who you meet that's going to change your life, bro. You don't know who you going to meet that's going to change your life. And I think that's the beauty about life and the crazy thing, because I'm like, my parents came from 2 different sectors, but both had trauma, and I came about, you know. And it's just interesting to me, guys. But I think that's really all I got for y'all today, man. You know, like, I'm more like, the body keeps score. You have to listen to that. Don't ignore what your body is telling you about yourself. Don't ignore what your body is holding and carrying. Be softer towards yourself. Be nicer and kinder to yourself. Because you reside in your vessel. You are your avatar. So make your avatar feel safe. Make your avatar feel comfortable, because it holds your spirit. Your spirit is the one who holds it all. And let it move through your body. Move. Do a little dancey dance. You feel me? Do workout. Do some workout. Do them pelvic jump. Like, ooh. And it's like, it gets intense sometimes. You know, when those emotions come up. But allow yourself to know that you're no longer in that reality anymore. You're just processing it now. Now you're processing it. Now you're allowing it to move. And then you release. And you become lighter. I feel lighter. I feel lighter. Healing is it ebbs and flows. So you just gotta let it flow through, man. But I love y'all, my golden hearts. Thank y'all for listening. You know, if y'all really will fuck with me, bro, follow the journey with me, yo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely gonna be posting way more. You know, I'm trying to keep a nice cyclical rhythm with myself, staying in balance with how I like to create, how I like to express myself, and the things that I would like to do. And just being like, I really do want to make the world a better place, so generations after and kids and things after can just grow up in a world where we're healing and we're not perpetuating trauma and cycles of abuse and things like that, and really asking ourselves and becoming observers of our own behaviors and observers of our own actions and how they can ripple out and affect other people. Because one thing can change someone's life, let it be for good. I love y'all, my good and hearts. Stay golden. Let that golden essence that resides within illuminate. Mwah.